Just look at these fighting moves. Capcom fans have spent over 2 decades begging for Onimusha to finally get its moment back in the sun. This game is about to drop in September and very few people are talking about it, and this game deserves your total attention because it will blow your mind. If you look at Capcom's track record over the last 10 years, almost every single major property they own got a massive modern comeback. Devil May Cry 5 delivered one of the best character action games of all time. The Resident Evil remakes completely redefined how companies handle classic horror IP. Monster Hunter transformed from a niche handheld favorite into a dominant global franchise. Even Street Fighter came back firing on all cylinders. But through all of that, Onimusha, the very series that essentially invented tactical, cinematical sword combat on the PlayStation 2, remained completely locked away in Capcom's vault. For years, fans assumed the franchise was dead and buried.
We're done here.
In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about the upcoming release of Onimusha Way of the Sword. This is a stage-based linear character action game built entirely around high-speed precision swordplay. Unlike many modern titles that force you into massive open-world maps or make you manage endless stats and loot tables, Onimusha stays hyper-focused. You move through dense, interconnected levels, clearing combat arenas, solving environmental secrets, and fighting boss-level enemies. Progression is about upgrading your core weapons, expanding your move list, and sharpening your own real-world reaction time, and I'm really a fan of this. To anchor this experience, Capcom dropped you straight into the legendary Miyamoto Musashi, digitally rendered using the face and likeness of Toshiro Mifune. Toshiro Mifune, the legendary cinema actor who defined samurai roles in the classics like Seven Samurai and Yojimbo. By putting you in the role of the true samurai, the game builds its identity around the reality of sword combat. The gold and the blade, historically samurai were the military nobility and master warriors of feudal Japan, trained in archery, martial arts, and strict codes of honor. The myth versus reality. In Way of the Sword, Musashi isn't portrayed as a rigid, untouchable hero, but as a gritty, pragmatic warrior who treats his sword as a survival tool. When faced with supernatural horrors, he relies on cold execution, posture breaking, and ruthless efficiency. The game kicks off with a massive narrative twist. Musashi is ambushed and killed early in his wandering days, but instead of passing into the afterlife, he is forcibly bound back to the mortal world to fight a threat far worse than any human army. Musashi isn't just a fictional video game protagonist, is arguably the most famous real-world samurai and strategist in Japanese history. Known historically as the Sword Saint, Musashi was an undefeated duelist who fought over 60 lethal duels, developed his own unique two-sword style, and authored the Book of Five Rings, the Oni Gauntlet, and the Soul System. The reason Musashi survives his own death is the artifact bound to his right arm, the Oni Gauntlet. Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is an ancient sentient relic forged by the Oni clan, a mythical race of divine guardians who have fought an eternal war against demonic forces. It serves as Musashi's life support system, holding his physical body together while transforming him into a human-demonic hybrid capable of tearing through supernatural armor. The Gauntlet is also your main resource management tool during gameplay.
You listen here!
I won't answer questions or otherwise to Gauntlet Lady. I was briefly awake thanks to the energy of that dark mass. But now I am not.
Hey!
Siphoning souls mid-combat, defeating enemies or landing frame-perfect counters causes glowing soul energy to erupt into the battlefield. You have to physically hold a button to pull these souls directly into the gauntlet during live combat. You cannot just stand still and vacuum souls, you have to continuously dodge, parry and manage your spacing while drawing energy out of the air. The three soul types, red souls, function as experience points and currency. You use them at shrines to level up base sword damage, unlock new combo attacks and expand your gauntless soul drain range. Yellow souls instantly replenish your health on absorption, eliminating the need to pause menus or chug potion items mid-fight. Blue souls fill your magic gauge, allowing you to summon temporary elemental weapon enchantments like fire for heavy armor destruction, lightning for high-speed multi-target dashes, and wind for massive crowd control pushes. The spirit inside, sealed within the gauntlet, is an Oni spirit guide who acts as your tactical advisor. She alerts you to hidden traps, decipherable ancient runes, and incoming unblockable boss attacks. Enemies and the Genma monsters. The Genma are an ancient race of biomechanical demon warlords rising directly from the netherworld. What makes them so terrifying is that they don't operate like wild beasts, they operate like an organized, hyper-technological military force. But how the Genma monsters function? Biomechanical infection. The Genma take human corpses, samurai armor and dark magical metal, fusing them into grotesque living siege weapons. The Genma invade human provinces to systematically harvest human souls. They use these souls as living batteries to power their dark machinery, forge corrupt weapons and spawn mutated super units. We have foot soldiers and archer swarms, shield bearers and armored brutes, shadow assassins and Genma generals, which are massive district bosses that control entire areas of the map, wielding corrupted heavy weapons that use dark magic. The combat system and dynamic blade mechanics. The combat engine is where Way of the Sword truly shines. prioritizing posture destruction, execution counters, and direct blade-on-blade collisions over passive dodging. You do not have a stamina bar limiting how many times you can attack or block. Instead, enemies have posture meters, and your entire goal in battle is to crush their posture to trigger instant kill executions. You have two major stances in this game. Dual stance switching. You can swap between two primary stances instantly, even in the middle of a swing. One hand stance and two hand stance. With one hand stance, you have rapid, high-speed pokes and light slashers designed to build hit combos, interrupt light attacks, and clear fast enemy swarms. With the two-handed stance, you have heavy, slow, devastating overhead swings designed to chunk a massive amount of posture off guarded enemies. The defense, deflect, tapping block right as an attack hits, deflects melee strikes and sends incoming arrows or fireballs bouncing right back at the shooter. You can parry and steer. Blocking on the exact impact frame completely cancels an enemy's combo string. Holding a direction during a parry allows you to physically throw or steer enemies into walls, off high ledges, or directly into other attackers. You can also reflex dodge. Precision dodging right before a grab or heavy strike lands triggers a brief slow motion window, letting you step behind the enemy for instant critical strikes. Also, when your sword strikes at the exact frame of an enemy swing, your blades lock together. You have to quickly switch stances or win a button mash prompt to overpower their guard and shatter their balance. The setting and atmosphere. The game takes place during the Edo period of Japan, centering around a dark fantasy reimagining of Kyoto. The sky above the province is constantly choked by dark supernatural clouds known as malice, which rain dark energy onto the city. Capcom crafted a stunning contrast between authentic historical Japanese architecture and grotesque biomechanical demon infestation. We have historical Kyoto locations, semi-open town hubs, and the netherworld and surreal zones. And this is where I want to do a small comparison between Onimusha and the new Mortal Shell 2. With so many dark action games on the horizon, it's worth quickly comparing Onimusha Way of the Sword to another massive and new title, Mortal Shell 2. While both games lean heavily into dark, atmospheric fantasy and aggressive melee combat, they scratch very different gameplay itches. Mortal Shell 2 focuses on an ethereal, shell-shifting protagonist adapting to distinct weapon styles, while Onimusha gives you the cinematic weight of Miyamoto Musashi, utilizing gauntlet magic and blade mastery. Onimusha, even though has some similarities, it is not a Souls-like game, just like how Mortal Shell 2 is. Both games are shaping up to be absolute wins for action and Souls-like fans. Onimusha Way of the Sword looks to be everything fans have been begging Capcom to deliver for over 20 years, by taking the face of Toshiro Mifune, building a fast posture breaking combat engine and giving us the full power of the Oni Gauntlet. Capcom is preparing to launch what could easily be one of the best action titles of the year when September rolls out. If you enjoyed this video, take a look on my review and the lore on the new and impressive Mortal Shell 2. Thank you for watching and see you next time. This is Mortal Shell 2, and this game redefines the Souls-like games into a brutal and epic gameplay.